Hi, my name is Saud Ahmed and I am the project manager of Group 1, and we are working on Scape and Cloud IoT interfaces. In this project, as I told in Sprint 1, that we are designing an interface uh, or a fog layer for Scape and IoT devices so that IoT devices can interact with the Scape Cloud Server. Scape Cloud Server is already designed in a popular programming language called PHP, which has already been established by our client. So me and my team members uh, divided different industries among ourselves and extracted common devices from each industry. I am working on in this sprint 2. I worked on educational industry and and by reviewing some literature reviews and by reading a lot of research papers in education sector, I concluded that I would be working on three sensors which are commonly used in education as well as in other industries as well. So in this sprint, I worked on RFID sensors, which are radio frequency identification, light sensors, and heat sensors, which are commonly used not only in the educational sector, but also in healthcare, in agriculture, and in logistics, on which my other group members are working on. So, what did I accomplish in this sprint? In sprint 1, me and my team members read a lot of literature reviews and research papers regarding how the connection between IoT devices and a cloud server can be made. So in order to do that, we have to establish a specific set of commands which will establish a connection between an IoT device and Scape Cloud Server, which will be done in the fog layer as I discussed it in Sprint 1. So after reading those literature reviews, we narrowed down to, as we have to define different set of core commands as well as device specific commands in order to achieve that milestone. So these these core commands are these core commands will possibly try to establish not only the internal communication, but also strengthen the security along with the response codes and error codes. Say for example, if an IoT device wants to connect with the cloud server, it really needs to establish an connection with the core command such as open command, which will which will send an acknowledgement to Scape, which which will which will uh, which will acknowledge the server, which will acknowledge the Scape server to send a response code to like security to log in to the device securely. So the basic core commands which are like common in every type of sensors or IoT devices are open, login, unlock, lock, close, and log out. So in order to do that, we also have to describe some of the response and error codes, such as if the connection is successful, so the cloud will return a 0 or a 1 based on how successfully the connection was established, or like or if there is any error or like wrong login credentials were entered. So we need to establish, in this layer we establish those rules which will deny the user or the IoT device to getting logged in to the Scape Cloud server in order to make the communication between them. And from this sprint, I learned how to like communicate make a communication between two different devices from different sects of industry, such as a cloud server, which is a widely used array of data, and the IoT devices, which can only send or receive data. For the betterments of the next for the next sprint, in sprint 3, we will be making a specification document which will include our all the core commands for all the devices and the sensors we choose, which are common in all the industries, and define their respective error and response codes, along with some of the device specific commands which will control our sensors certain properties, such as if there is a light sensor we are using or describing, we will be extracting in order to control the light property, such as how much light intensity we want to give out or we want to store in our database. So in the next, for the sprint 3, we would be working on cloud device specification interface document. Thank you.